To err is human, and I am definitely human, and I definitely erred this week. I messed up bad. I messed up to finish on my 1903 A3. And honestly, I don't like talking about my screw-ups. It damages the ego, you might say. But I need to share it because it might save some of you from making a similar mistake in the future. With all of the organizing I've had going on lately that I talked about last week, I've got chaos right now in the house and out here in the shop. And I have somehow managed to misplace my gun cleaning cloths. I've got 2 of them that I use to wipe down my firearms. Nothing on it but a little gun oil. And I had 2 guns that I needed to wipe down. 1903 A3 and my Parker Hale. I've been handling them and doing a couple of things. I needed to wipe them down. Couldn't find my gun cleaning cloths. Well, I happened to have been in Walmart and I stopped by their gun department because used to it. It's real easy to just look, gun cleaning cloth, get it, put a little gun oil on it and you're good. They didn't have one, or I didn't see one. So a couple days later I was in my local gun shop and I saw something. I said, well, that's exactly what I need right there. And all I saw on this was gun cloth, clean. Okay, this is what I need, and I grabbed it. And I came home and really wanted to get them wiped down because it had been a few days at this point. And when I opened this, I knew something was wrong. The cloth in it was way too stiff, and it had a strange smell to it. Almost smelled like chocolate. I thought, well, they must have just put some kind of rust inhibitor on there or something. I don't know. And I wiped down the Parker Hale real quick, put it up, and then I commenced to wipe down the 1903 A3 here. And I noticed I was getting a lot of black on the cloth. And then I noticed the bluing was looking really bad on the barrel. And then I realized I was wiping the bluing off the gun. It's not good. And then I really read the package. And it turns out this is, I guess, for fouling and muzzleloaders, basically. This is to be cut up in little patches and used on a cleaning rod. And right here, do not use on blued or case-hardened surfaces. I screwed up. All right, so we're going to talk about some cleaning cloths real quick because this was kind of important. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics on a cleaning cloth itself other than to say use cotton and put gun oil on it. And Gun Blue 490 recently did a really good video on this exact topic, cleaning and caring for your gun and stock, and I'm going to leave a link to his video in the description below. If you've got any questions on the cloth itself, please go watch his video. And he's got some good stuff there. All right, what I'm going to focus on is where I messed up and making sure I don't do this again in the future, and the importance of having a cleaning cloth. Okay, so where I messed up at is not being organized. That's the first thing that got me. Having a cloth to wipe down our firearms is critical, and we need to know where it's at, and it needs to be in that spot. It needs to have a designated location, a home. And let's say I'd gone hunting. Okay, and it'd been raining and my gun got wet. I would need to take this rifle out of the stock and wipe the whole thing down as soon as I got home. Or if I'd been at the range on a summer day and sweating a lot, I would need to wipe this down that day. All right, to not wipe it down when it's wet or you've been handling it and that type thing, that's just asking for rust. Well, in order to make sure we can wipe a firearm down that day, our gun cleaning cloth has to be there, has to be accessible, has to be available. We can't run into the situation I just run into of all of a sudden I can't find mine, and that comes back to not being organized. Okay, second place I messed up. And this is a little broader here, but I've noticed as my eyes have gotten worse, if I don't have my reading glasses on, I don't put in the effort to read small print. And I didn't on here, and it's smaller print. It cost me. All right, so just for me personally, It's just something I really got to pay attention to, not on just firearms, but everything. Keep my glasses handy and read small print on stuff like this. Okay, and to remedy my particular situation on the organization part, 'cause that's what ultimately what I want to do is make sure I never run into this again. I need multiple cleaning cloths. That worked out really well, what I had out, having one out here in the shop and one in the house. But I've noticed past couple of years when I go to the range and I'm doing some cleaning and things like that at the range, I'll carry one of them with me to the range. All right, well, if I'm carrying one to the range with me, that means it's not where it should be at the house. All right, so that's potential for me to lose it, or both. And that's possibly what happened here. Okay, so I need one in the house, one out here in the shop, and one in my range cart. Might keep one in my gun case. And I don't want to get carried away and have them just everywhere. I'm generally big on minimalism, even though you wouldn't think it seeing the mess I got right now. But one of the problems we run into when we have a lot of something is we end up never being able to find what we're looking for. A knife. How many of you have 100 different pocket knives, but you never have a good one? A sharp one. You got to go through the 3 dozen dull ones to find a sharp one. Or same with kitchen knives. So I don't want cloths just everywhere, but I do want a gun cleaning cloth to have a designated place at the locations where I use them. All right, so one in my range cart, one in my gun case, one in the house, one out here in the shop. And then that'll fix me up. But I did want to share this with y'all because my finish isn't ruined. It wasn't the best finish to start with. And there was some browning in this area, and I never figured out if it was whoever sporterized this way back when. I couldn't figure out if they had just messed up in the bluing process or if they had some cold bluing in that area. But in the area where that little bit of browning was, I can pretty much see steel there now. It's not completely down to steel, but it's close. Right. So that wasn't good. Thankfully, it didn't mess up any of the bluing on my bottom metal or the action, just the barrel. And maybe they had replaced the barrel on this. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's not ruined, but I didn't help it. And this is probably going to add to my list of things to do. I'm probably going to check with the local gunsmith and see about having this re-blued on the barrel anyway. And that's something I could do myself, but I'm not set up for it. And it'd be a lot better for me to talk to someone with a little more knowledge on that than myself. I know this was simple, basic stuff here, but as long as I've been doing this, I still managed to mess this up. So I felt like it's worth talking about. Right, now just for channel stuff. Okay, not being organized really hurt me, so I'm definitely focusing on getting organized. That's with what the type stuff we do here and talk about here. Being organized is very important. And so I'm going to put a lot more emphasis, especially during the month of November, on getting organized. All right, also, I've managed to accumulate some unfinished projects. And that's my Achilles heel. And I started a second channel for non-firearm stuff, and it's just me. That channel's just, I'm just playing with some stuff. That's all that is. But I mentioned on there I had some unfinished projects around the house, getting an old Tahoe back running and getting my boat right. So on that channel, I'm making a big push to get those unfinished projects finished by the first of the year. Well, I'm going to do the same on this channel. All right, we've got 6 weeks until Christmas. This year's almost gone. And I've got some unfinished projects and firearms related that I just don't want hanging over my head going into the first of the year. Okay, so the 257 Roberts featherweight. I got to make a decision on that one. And based on the advice of Gun Blue 490. Hey, if he's giving advice, I'm listening. He and a couple of you also mentioned you have to pay particular attention to the magazine box in that rifle. If the magazine box is in a bind in here, it does something not good and it'll really mess up your accuracy. Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to go back to the range one last time with it. I know the magazine box is seated really well, and I noticed when I reassembled the rifle before that it wanted to bind. So I don't know that I had it perfectly right. I know it is now. I'm going to go back to the range one more time, see if we see any improvement on accuracy. I don't think we will with what I saw in the barrel. But hey, we're going to try it. Okay, because I would love for that to solve the problem. And then if it doesn't, I think I'm going to send that rifle back to Winchester and just see what they say. I'm just curious. And if they do nothing, which I'm expecting, then I'll talk to the gunsmith. Okay, 7mm Mauser. This is the replacement stock I got for it because the stock on it just warped something fierce. And I probably could have sent it back to Winchester and they probably would have replaced that, but honestly, I love that rifle so much, I don't know if I trust FedEx with it. So, anyway, I picked up a stock for it. Well, I've got to get it bedded and the rifle back in here and I want that rifle ready to go next year. I want all of my firearms in proper working order. And so that's my goal for the end of this year. And also the Winchester Westerner. I got to make a decision on it, or at least carry it to the range. And a lot of you remember the issues I had with it and the bore on it. Last time I carried it to the range, it was starting to shoot decent. So we're going to get back on that one, and I'm going to make a decision on it. And I want to go into the first of the year with everything I have in proper working order. No unfinished projects hanging over my head. And then I'm looking forward to us just having fun and getting into some new things this coming year. Okay, so that's my plans for the rest of the year. And then we'll fix whatever comes up as it comes up. God bless, and I hope y'all have a great day.